Hey ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a long overdue review of my teams. This is my Superboss team video for April of 2026. I have an Earth team, Water team, Wind team, Fire team, Thunder team, Crystal team, and instead of Shade I have a Null Magic team. I wish we would have a few more slots. I'd love to have all 7 elements, a Null type team, and the 4 weapon type teams, but alas, we only have 10 slots. And I have a couple for my casual Crono videos, and then 1 for farming. So I have 7 teams, and I use them interchangeably depending on the situation. I don't make these videos very regularly because a lot of times my teams really don't change. My Earth team, Wind team, Fire team, those 3 are completely identical to what I had back in December. It is possible a little bit of the gear or grasta has changed over time, but the characters themselves are exactly the same. Of my 7 teams, the one that has changed the most is the Water team, because I pulled Verdanta and she is awesome. So I will talk a little more about the teams that have changed and kind of gloss over the ones that are the same. To start things off, we're going to tackle the Earth team. Of my teams, the Earth team is probably the weakest at this point. I really haven't drawn many good Earth characters, and when I look at the tier lists, a lot of the good Earth characters are also Pierce characters and work really well in Pierce zones, not necessarily Earth zones. So Shannon Alter is still my main damage dealer for my Earth team. Since she is a damage dealer, she has Elpis Sword, Dryad Spangle, highest power badge possible, and 3 Power of Pains, 1 with Bullseye, Rose with Thorns, and the 3rd one is Earth Power of Pain, which further boosts Earth damage as well as pain multipliers. If I'm fighting something that's naturally weak to Earth, I might replace that one with a weak point badge, or a grasta. And for special grasta, she has the Faded Star Proof. You'll see the Faded Star Proof used a lot in this video. The Faded Star Proof, if you're not familiar, when you run another dungeons, you might occasionally see that you get a Faded Star Fragment. If you get 10 of those, you can go, if you have access to it, to the future Garulia Cat Shrine and trade them in for a Faded Star Proof. The Faded Star Proof gives 300 health, 25 MP, and 5 to all stats, and that tends to be much better than their own personal grasta, which is usually just 5 in 2 stats and no health or MP. Now, unless you fully awaken the dice proof and get like to where it's offering 900 health and so forth, then it's better. But in the meantime, Faded Star Proof. And you can get as many Faded Star Proofs as you want. I have 3. I should probably get a 4th one sooner or later just so I can give it to all my party members. So that is Shannon. The tank in the party is Bertrand. Because he is a tank, I build him for health. He has 13,000, almost 14,000 HP naturally. He comes from the Fishhook Spear, which gives health, Elpis Spangle, which gives health based on his light, and he has 70 light right now. He has a 2,000 HP badge, and then for grasta, each grasta has 300 health, technically in 50 MP, and is equipped with either HP ore or light shadow HP ore. If your light points or shadow points are higher than 50, then the light shadow HP ore actually provides you with more HP. So if I really wanted to be efficient, I'd probably swap those 2 ores out with light shadow HP ore since he has 70 light. But it's just maybe a couple hundred at that point. So I haven't really been too worried about it. I do happen to have his True Magister Proof, which does give 900 health and 15 endurance. The support characters are Myunfa Alter and Claude ES. Myunfa has prayers, can deploy the zone, and so forth. And so since she is a support character, I tried to gear her defensively. She has the Purity Staff, which is upgraded from the Wandering Blacksmith. Elpis Ring for some health. And she also has an HP 2000 badge. And I can't remember, I have 3 HP 2000 badges at this point. I know for sure one came from the Phantom Crystal dimension. You get a certain number of cat stamps, and that's one of the rewards. I honestly can't remember where the other 2 came from. I want to say one might have come from the Sorcerer's tournament, but just check the wiki. It's in there somewhere. She also has grasta that give health, and the ores give health as well. And then she is holding Resonant Power Light. It improves damage per light ally, and this team, 4 of the 6 characters, her, Claude, Bertrand, and regular Shannon, all have light. Deirdre and Shannon Alter are the only shadow users. So it's not the full 30% damage, but it is, I guess, 2/3 of that, so about 20% damage, if the math is correct. But that will improve all party members' damage, including the shadow characters. The other support character is Claude. He has the Illusion Speed Sword, which gives health. Smoke Drift Bangle, which just improves physical resistance and some status resistances. He also has an HP 2000 badge. And then he has Enhance if Max HP Sword, since Shannon Alter is a sword user, Power of Offense Earth, and Power of Awakening Sword. So as long as we're in an awakened zone, all sword users' damage goes up. And he has a Faded Star proof as well. The reserves. I usually use the reserve characters to beef up the damage dealer. Since Shannon is a damage dealer, and her personalities, Sword, KMS, Amnesia, Dog Lover, and Earth, there are shared grasta for Sword, Earth, KMS, and Amnesia. Shannon's personality traits overlap very much with Shannon's. Shannon is a cat lover instead of a dog lover, but she has Sword, KMS. So that means she can hold the Almighty Power KMS. It improves type attacks for all party members who are KMS personalities. She also has Enhance if Max HP Sword, and then in cases where Shannon Alter is below 80% health, the Enhance at low HP Sword kicks in and boosts damage by 40%. Shannon was also amnesiac. Is that the right word? Amnesiac. And Deirdre is a sword user that has amnesia as well. So she can hold things like the Power of Quake Sword, which improves Earth-type attacks for all sword members, Enhance if Max HP for Earth, and Almighty Power Amnesia. Sidekicks, Tetra and Gunts. Tetra heals at the end of every turn. If a character gets below 80% health, Tetra has an aura that boosts their maximum HP and MP and physical and magical resistance. Gunts, once I blow the AF gauge, all party members' stats, the power for Shannon Alter, the endurance and spirit for Bertrand, etc., all stats go up by 20%. So that's the team, and let's go see it in action. The one I choose usually for the demos for this one, if you go into the records room and choose number 26, Escariot Dawning Hour, and there's a few steps to activate that one if you don't have it, you get to fight Shadow of the Swordsman. So the way this party works, Bertrand we'll do something to inflict pain. So we will go ahead and use Overbear right away. We'll go ahead and debuff. We'll also debuff Slash Resistance and Earth Resistance. And we will get a Wind Zone going. Charity Blend, as long as I have, as long as I don't have 3 staff users in the front line, we'll deploy Earth Stance. You'll notice that Bertrand is pretty much taking 0 damage. He's actually not a half-bad tank, in my opinion. A lot of people kind of avoid him and don't use him. He's really good with physical, tanking physical damage. Alright, he's going to start using Guardian Lance. It also inflicts rage, but it also starts to improve his health. We're going to go ahead and boost Sword, Katana, Axe users' damage. We're going to increase Shannon's power and speed. And we are going to get a prayer going. I'll do my best. We now have an awakened Earth Zone. Bertrand is still taking 0 damage. We have our prayer going. We have a heal going. MP regen. And now we can start doing some damage. We can go ahead and either keep Guardian Lancing if we want to improve max HP. We can go ahead and start attacking. Epée de Sanction is Alter Shannon's main damage dealing attack. It ignores defenses. And we will get Please, which buffs the character to her right, which we have placed Shannon to the right of Myunfa. So there's the buff. You'll see that she did 100 million in damage. And we hit an HP stopper. Tetra's aura has kicked in, so you'll see that some of the characters have enhanced health. Thanks to Tetra and Guardian Lance, we can see that Bertrand, our tank, has 22,000 at the moment, and he is still stacking. Basically, we just attack again. If prayer has gone away, which it has, we can re-pray. There's 250 million. He attacks the whole party, and then the prayer kicks in. We have an AF gauge to work with if we want. Bertrand still taking 0 damage. He's up to 26,000 health. And that's before empathy. Claude ES does have empathy where he can basically add his health to another character and they both share it. So if I cast empathy, I could give Bertrand over 30,000 health, but it is not really necessary. So we, I think, have stacked all 3. We can overbear again and give him pain. 5 turns, 5 turns, that's still good. We can Epée de Sanction again. Our prayer is going. We have lost Earth Zone, so we will put that back. Bertrand, tanking like a champ. Okay. Alright, so we have a full AF gauge to work with. We're back in an awakened Earth Zone. So we check, we have pain, everything going. So we're just going to recast the 3s, then the 2s, and then all 1s. 3, 3, 3, 3. 2, 2, 2, 2. And then all 1s. Epee to sanction. Wipes out damage. You can see it did about 400,000 on one hit. It's doing less now, but that's because when you defeat a boss, all the debuffs go away, so all the reduction in resistances are all gone. Now if you use Claude ES, and this is true for all ES characters, they have an end of AF animation. This is his. So you have to sit around and watch them do usually ridiculous amounts of damage. And we just did 2 billion in a burst and had a very easy time against Shadow of the Swordsman. So that's kind of how the Earth team, my Earth team, rolls. The weaknesses with this team. There it goes. That was weird. The weaknesses for this team, Shannon Alter, a year ago, a year and a half ago, was a really good damage dealer. Nowadays, we have characters that hit 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Think like Sesta, Verdanta, etc. Shannon's biggest attacking skill, Epee to Sanction, hits once, and that's it. So she's not nearly as strong as a lot of the other teams. And nowadays, when you have weapon manifest fights that have like 150 billion in damage, hitting once really isn't going to cut it. Unfortunately, I don't have really any stronger Earth characters. Just haven't gotten lucky with treatises, codices, etc. And then other characters like Lokido, I could Stellar Awaken him and start playing with him. Not sure if I want to spin the gems, because I really haven't found the need for an Earth team. I suppose at some point in the future I'll probably have to upgrade it, but this is the team I have right now. And really, unless you're doing weapon tempering challenges and other like super end game type stuff, this team still does very well against a lot of super bosses and just regular challenges. My next team is my water team. It has gone through the biggest change since December, and that is because of Verdanta. Verdanta is an amazing damage dealer, extremely powerful, right on par with Sesta. So, since she's the damage dealer, she has the Elpis Sword, Dryad Spangle, highest power badge, Power of Agonies with Bullseye and Rose with Thorns, and in her case, Weak Point Strike. Verdanta is a character you want Stellar Awaken, not because of her stellar skill, which isn't bad, but because she can inflict exposed water on all enemies for 3 turns. And that gives Alciel enough time because Alciel on the 4th turn can create a permanent exposure. So this guarantees that Verdanta is hitting weak points right away. And that is very important for all of her skills. All of her skills kind of depend on getting criticals and hitting weak points. So increased damage against weak points, etc. Our tank is Annabelle. Normal style Annabelle. You can get 2 of her star charts from Nopal's Emporium, so don't waste your all cosmos on her. And she, being a tank, is equipped for health. Illusion speed, health, Elpis Spangle, health. Now, my Annabelle has 172 light. I've been playing since the game released. She has appeared in pools for years, so she has a lot of light. So the Elpis Spangle definitely helps with that. Because she has so much light, I can equip her with 2 badges, so she gets 4,000 from the HP badges, and then all of her grasta give health as well. And then she has the Light Shadow HP ore. Since she's above 50 light, it gives her more than 300 health. So she is stacked with 17,793 HP. The support characters. This is probably where my team is a little bit weaker. First of all, I do rely on pain, and so I need someone to set pain. Ilulu is my pain setter. Her Spirited Delecta inflicts pain, and it is persistent. So once it's on there, great, it's on for the fight. After that, she's not really helping the team that much. She just does damage. So if I had to identify a weakness to my water team, it's probably Ilulu. I'd like to use someone else to set pain. I just don't know who. I don't have all the water characters available in the game right now, and really, to be honest, this team's working pretty well as it is, so I haven't really felt the need to pursue that further. And then Elseal. I use Elseal's normal style. Her AS style is extremely good as well, and in fact, I think her AS style, I really believe that it brings out Verdanta's damage even more. However, her normal style, over time, she stacks intel on all enemies at the start of each turn. So that means on the 4th turn, there are 4 intels stacked. If 4 intels are stacked, and if she is in a full party of water users, if I cast Glace Misericord, that creates a permanent exposure to water. So if the fight goes on for 20 more turns, I have water exposure for 20 turns. If for some reason the exposure does get removed, I simply cast Glace Misericord again, and it goes back, because those 4 intel stacks don't disappear. They stay on, basically, I think, until Elseal gets knocked out. So for longer fights, I prefer Elseal normal style. If I know it's a fight I can win in just 1 or 2 turns, I'll use Elseal AS instead. Personal preference, everyone has their own. So, that being said, since Ilulu is kind of a support character, I have her with HP badges, I have her with gear that improves combo rates. You'll see combo rate enhancement ore on the grasta. I chose Power of Pains. She's not doing that much damage, especially in light of the massive amount that Verdanta puts out, so I could just as easily put on some grasta that have HP and throw on some combo rate enhanced ores on those. Like I could give her a Power of Rebirth and stick on combo enhancement rate. Doesn't really matter. She does do a little bit of damage here and there, so whatever. Faded Starproof. And Elseal, also built for support. She has the Spectral Sword, which improves her speed. Blue Heavens Bracelet, which improves her resistances and defenses. Galaxy Badge, she gains 1,000 health and improves combo rate. Enhance if max HP water. Power of Rebirth for a little bit of MP regen. And Boost Proficiency. I haven't talked too much about the Proficiency grasta. We have Boost Proficiency and Drain Proficiency. Basically what it means, if you have a skill that boosts power, intellect, speed, it will basically boost it even more. And then Drain Proficiency, if you use a skill like a debuff that reduces the enemy's power by like 50%, it won't be 50%, it'll be more than 50% if you have the Drain Proficiency equipped. So that's what those are. But in her case, since she is a buffer, I have her with Boost Proficiency. And then she has a Faded Star as well. So that is the main team. Verdanta's abilities: Sword, Gourmet, Avenger, Spicy Lover, Outlaw, and Water. And several of these do have Almighty Power grastas. I have Leclerc. She is a water user, a light character, and she happens to be an Avenger. So I gave her Resonant Power Light, Almighty Power Avenger, and Power of Offense Water. Why Resonant Power Light? She is light, Aldo is light, Annabelle, Verdanta, and Elciel. 5 out of 6 are light characters. You can see the imbalance up there. Ilulu is the only shadow character. I'd love a light water character that could inflict pain. That would be amazing if they were a good water character. But here we are. I have Aldo, he is a sword user, and Verdanta is a sword user, and my Aldo is maxed out at light, which means I can have 4 grasta equipped. Power of Rapids, 2 enhance if max HPs, and a sound body sword. If you only have 3 grasta slots instead of 4, I would skip out on the sound body. Sidekicks, Tetra and Moke. Tetra again, just for the heals and aura and everything. Moke, who comes with the Little Lily ES. Moke has an aura. As soon as you hit weak point damage, all critical damage improves by 30%. And you just saw that Verdanta pretty much is guaranteed to hit weak points because of her personal expose. So that aura will kick in on turn number 1. So that is the party. The only other thing you have to do is choose. If you use Annabelle, do you have the Deliverance Sword equipped? Or do you have Holy Saber equipped? If you're planning on taking lots of magic damage, the counterattack applies to magic damage. If you plan on taking lots of physical damage, you want Deliverance Sword, because the counterattack activates after physical attacks. So you kind of have to know what you're getting yourself into in order to choose the best skill for that. So that is my water team. Let's see them in action. The Superboss I love beating up is in the Lost Sector Forgotten Quarter. It is Lucidium's Shadow. And this is a good showcase to show Verdanta's power, Elciel's ability to inflict exposures, and Annabelle's tanking. So we are going to go ahead. The way this boss works, this is a pretty decently powerful boss. It has a plasma field. If it has 40 stacks, slash attacks remove 2 of the 40 stacks for each attack. Same with piercing. So once it hits 0, then it's basically, you can start doing damage to it. So you have to sit around and whittle it down. So we're going to use Holy Saber, Inflict Rage. We are going to Blue Ice Flare it. We are going to... There's really no reason to buff right now because we're doing 0 damage, but we certainly could go ahead and put in a water zone at some point. We'll go ahead and do a slash attack right away, and we will get pain going. Or at least attempt to. It's not a guaranteed pain. We did get pain. Alright, it went from 40 stacks to 19. So we will go ahead and get Elemental Wall going. We'll do another Blue Ice Flare. We'll go ahead and get the Water Zone going now. And Purgatorium. It did a magic type attack. She countered, healed the team. The plasma field is deactivated. We are able to do damage now. So we are going to blow the AF gauge. We're going to Guardian Soul. Blue Ice Flare. We will Mare Vexillum. And Anima Amaryllis. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And then do all ones. 1, 2, 1, 2, all ones. Alright. We'll go ahead and start rebuffing now. And the boss now uses its first revive point. Now it has two little artilleries, and it deploys the plasma field again. It does destroy the water zone. Not that it's a big deal right now because we need to burn through everything. So we're going to Holy Saber it and get Rage going on the two wings. We'll go ahead and Blue Ice Flare because it attacks everything. This is the start of turn 4, so we can go ahead and Glace Misericord if we want to go ahead and create an exposure on the main body. The two wings only have one stack though, so it's kind of sort of either or. In this case I'm going to Leer to Zona for right now. And we are going to Spirita Delecta to get Pain on the wings. Here's our Rage. Notice that Annabelle has 30,000 health right now. Counterattacking, restoring MP along the way. Holy Saber, Blue Ice Flare. We'll go ahead and let's go ahead and Glace Misericord. And we will go ahead and Purgatorium it. Now the main body has an exposure, but the wings still do not. They need 2 more intel stacks. Now the wings pose an extra danger in this fight. The wings are slowly building up their own stacks. They are at 6 right now. Once they hit 10 stacks, they will basically destroy the team. So I have 2 more turns before that happens. So we are going to Holy Saber, Blue Ice Flare, go ahead and Hagel Kuze it, get the water zone going, and we will Anima Amaryllis. Let's see, do we still have Pain? Yes, we do. You know what? We'll just Purgatorium it again. Alright, Annabelle is tanking like a champ. And we have an AF gauge to work with now. The plasma field is deactivated, that means it is vulnerable. So everything now has 4 stacks of intel, so we're going to blow the AF gauge. We are going to Hagel Kuze it to get the water zone going, so we're going to do a 4 there. And otherwise, we're pretty much going to spam all 1s and make sure that the body loses a life point. We're going to work in a Glace Misericord as well to get the exposure on the wings. But the body, since it already has exposure, should die pretty quickly. So, just double checking. Looks like the wings... This wing does not have Pain right now. So we'll do 3, 4, 1, 1, and then I will Glace Misericord when I can. So 3, 4, 1, 1. There's Glace Misericord. Alright, everything is nice and destroyed, so this is when we can rebuff. think I was able to get in the 3s okay. And we repeat one more time. Fill up the AF gauge. We are going to Guardian Soul. Blue Ice Flare, of course. We'll go ahead and Hageo Kuze it. And Spirita Delecta it. Now you'll notice that with each life point, the boss is getting more and more powerful. Annabelle's taking a little more damage now. Nothing she can't handle for now. Holy Saber, Blue Ice Flare. We'll go ahead and Lyr to Zona it and Purgatorium it. Get that slash debuff going, slash type resistance decreased. Keep going with the AF gauge. Alright, this next turn we should be able to activate the AF gauge. So Blue Ice Flare, Mare Vexillum, and did we get Pain on everything? Pain is not on this wing. Yes. Yes. So we'll just do one more. Alright, we have the AF gauge available to us. This should destroy the plasma field. Alright, we have to blow the AF gauge. We have 8 stacks on the wings. So we will do just that. We will do... we need to work in Hageo Kuze to get the water zone, so we'll do 1, 4... we'll do 1, 4, 2, 1. Make sure General's Blaze is back up. So 1, 4, 2, 1, and then all ones. 1, 4, 2, 1, all ones. Wings are gone. Alright, now we can rebuff the 3s. So Annabelle is now at 32,000 health. The boss uses its last life point. The exposure is still up on the wings and the main body. Now the boss, now that he's used up, it has used up all of its life points, it's a lot stronger. So we're going to start seeing Annabelle take a lot more damage. We rebuffed Elemental Wall. Guardian Soul was relatively recent, so we will Holy Saber it. We'll continue our Blue Ice Flare attack. Lyr to Zona. And Spirita Delecta. Make sure that Pain is on everything. Holy Saber again, blue Ice Flare again. We will Lair to Zona it again and Purgatorium it. See, Annabelle's taking a lot more damage now. The plasma field has been deactivated. So this would be a good time to blow the Stellar Burst. We want to make sure we survive, because after this turn we should have enough in the AF gauge to win. So Aegeus Boon will give her a 90% damage barrier, Stockade, Critical Guard, and rebuffs Guardian Soul and Elemental Wall. So Aegeus Boon it is. And we could do Frost Blossoms. If we want, we could blue Ice Flare it again. We have choices. So we are going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and do Frost Blossoms.
Behold the pride of the Snow Bloom. Die! Rest in peace!
Now we have this turn where Annabelle is really strong. So we'll just go ahead and fill up the AF gauge. We'll Mervex Selum. Basically get some debuffs going. We'll make sure that Pain is on there. Yes, it is. No and no. So alright, we have our AF gauge. Annabelle's Stellar is allowing her to take the hits very easily now. And we have an AF gauge and a de-nullified boss. So we're going to Hagel Kuze it for the water zone, but otherwise do 1, 4, 1, 1, and then I'll try to work in a Glace Misericord as well. So 1, 4, 1, 1. 1, 4, 1, 1. There's the Glace Misericord. And just spam. Let the enhanced combo rates do their work. And you can see this is a very long fight. Thanks to LCL normal style, we were able to create that exposure, and we were able to handle it no matter how many turns it took. If we had LCL AS, we could not have done that exposure. So that's why I tend to prefer normal style LCL. So that is my new and improved water team. You can see Annabelle tanks like a champ. You saw the amount of damage. We did, I think, 36 billion. Did I see that right? In the burst. And Verdanta certainly can pump out way more. So, as I said, if I had a weakness, Ilulu is probably the weakness. Once she got Pain on the enemy, her role kind of ends. And I really wish I had a different water user, preferably a a light water user, in order to put Pain on, make the most out of Resonant Power, Light, and all that. But this team is functional. It does really well. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a huge improvement over my old water team. My next team is my strongest. It is the Wind team. and it is made up of Tsubame Alter, Sesta AS, Melody AS, and Shiguri ES, with Otoa and Tomei backing them up. In this team, Sesta is the main damage dealer, and you're probably noticing a trend: Elpis, Dryads, Power Badge, Pains with Bullseye and Rose with Thorns, and in this case, Weak Point Strike. She has a built-in Expose, so Weak Point Strike, it really improves her damage a lot. The tank in this case is Shigure ES. He is Stellar Awakened, and his tank mode requires him to use Fugen Ituryu Cease. Otherwise, he is a dodge tank, so instead of standard huge amounts of hit points, you want to build him with enough speed that, particularly when he's buffed, he can dodge most anything. If his speed and the enemy's speed is tremendously different, he will dodge 90% of the time maximum. So there will always be a 10% chance that he will get hit. And that's why it's not a bad idea to go ahead and give him some health. So I have Moonshade Katana, which improves speed and enhances combo rate. Stamped Ring improves speed. An HP badge for those times when he gets hit. And then he has 3 grasta, all that have health, and I tried to pick ones that have 300 health and 10 speed, so he could have a little bit of speed boost there as well. So Curse of Revival, and then Victory Celebration, and just regular old healing power. It has a little bit of endurance, so if he does get hit, hopefully it gets hit a little less. Faded Starproof improves all of his stats, including speed, by 5, and gives him some health. So he is at almost 9,000 health. The support characters are Melody and Tsubame. Melody AS will passively deploy an awakened wind zone over and over and over again. It requires her to be in her demented state. Since she is a support character, I've tried to build her for survival. Purity Staff, Leopard Ring, which improves combo rate, HP Badge, 2000, 2 Power of Pains, and a Resonant Power Shadow. Again, you don't necessarily have to have Pains. She does not do that much damage. You could put on any grasta that gives health, for example, and then toss on Combo Rate Enhance as well. Tsubame, all alter characters, if you weren't aware, have something called Another Sense. Hers, when another zone is deployed, it extends it for 3 turns. So Melody deploys a zone, Tsubame automatically makes it a 6-turn awakened wind zone. Otherwise, she is geared for support as well, mostly. She has Elpis gloves, but she has a leopard necklace for combo rate. She has Winged One's badge, which is for combo rate. Almighty Power Cat Lover, because Shigure is a cat lover as well as she. Enhance of Max HP Wind and Power of Offense Wind. So she only has about 6,000 health. I could try to give her more health at the cost of some improved damage. If that was the case, Cat Lover would probably be the first thing to go, because Cat Lover, while it boosts her damage and Shigure's damage, Sesta is not a cat lover, so it's not really helping Sesta damage at all, and she is the main damage dealer. And I think that covered the 4 of them. So, you just saw Sesta is Katana, Avenger, and Wind. Tomei, a free character, little 3-star character, happens to be a Katana and Avenger user. So he can hold the Almighty Power Avenger grasta, and then whichever Katana grasta you wish to equip. In this case, I have 2 of the Enhance if Max HPs. Otoa has Power of Gale Katana, Power of Awakening Katana, and Almighty Power Eastern Katana. The Eastern one, not vital. Again, Sesta is not Eastern, so the Almighty Power Eastern is only boosting Shigure and Tsubame. Now, they do a decent amount of damage on their own, but as I said, Sesta is the main damage dealer, so if you don't have the Almighty Power Eastern, not a huge deal. Why Atoa versus any other katana user? Atoa has a passive ability. When you win a battle, everyone's HP and MP is restored by 15%. So she's great when I'm farming with this team. But really, any katana user could fit the bill there. Sidekicks, Moke and Kuamaru. Moke for the weak point damage. Kuamaru reduces slash resistance if you have a character with speed of 300 or above. And we do. Now, this is for an all damage win team. My default sidekicks are always Tetra, once we get to Tetra, for the heals. And then the other character is kind of whoever. It's usually Moke or Guns. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with Tetra for now, but if you want to go all out on damage, then there are other options. And Kuamaru is a very good option for that. If you don't have Tetra, by the way, there is a free character, sidekick, Iridian, who is like a little miniature version of Tetra. Iridian can heal the team, just not quite as much, but doesn't have the aura that improves resistances. So that is the party, and let's go test it out. To showcase this team, we are going to do Izuka's weapon tempering fight. We do need Izuka in the party, so I've replaced Atoa with Izuka. I mentioned that really any katana user could hold the grasta, so we have Izuka holding the grasta. Power of Gale and Power of Awakening katana. Since she is not Eastern, I can't use the Almighty Power Eastern katana, so instead I threw in Resonant Power Light. She is a light user. And Melody and Shiguri are as well. So we have 3 light and 3 shadow users. So her power, Resonant Power Light, instead of 30%, is boosting party damage by about 15%. But still, that's 15%. Now, I do not care about the pledges or anything. This video is just to showcase how the team works together.
Let's get to work. You gotta have teamwork.
Alright. Fugen Ituryu's Cease will put him in tank mode. Depravity will inflict pain and do some debuffs, and give myself a damage barrier. Wicked Wolf Sweep will just attack and start restoring the AF gauge, and we will get Winds of War, which buffs the character to the user's right, which is Sesta, the main damage dealer.
How's this?
Melody, as I said, at the end of turn 1, will enter Demented State, and that deploys an Awakened Wind Zone. And thanks to Tsubame, it is 6 turns. Also thanks to Tsubame, it has a zone ability, Cyclone Gale. The more wind attacks I do, the stronger the zone gets. So turn 2, Bolstering Kie, Magical Smash, we'll do another Wicked Wolf Sweep, and Fierce Feline Storm, which also buffs to the user's right, aka Sesta. We now have an AF gauge to work with.
Try harder.
And Melody at the end of every turn restores health and MP. That's not tied to the zone. If the zone is broken, that heal will continue for, I think, 3 or 4 turns. Forget how long it lasts. We now have an AF gauge to work with. And while physical and magic resistance is increased, we have a bunch of debuffs going on as well. So we're going to blow the AF gauge. We've cast the 3s and 2s, so now we're basically going to spam the 1s. This will also build up that zone ability. We're going to work in 1 Twin Blade right now, and that will give us an expose. So technically we were hitting weak points. And we've hit the HP stopper. So we'll go ahead and rebuff the 1s. And the 2s. There you go, 110 billion in that burst, and we weren't really trying.
Try to control the battle.
Shiguri dodges. And I think it's time to show off the burst. Sorai Kimbu, Wolf Heart Release, which does a Twin Blade Wolf without consuming a Wolf Heart. And Injaku Neku Rambu, which will also redeploy the Awakened Wind Zone.
Sesta will not let you dirty her world. Take this. Try to control the battle.
Right, she heals. And kind of a rinse repeat thing. We'll Sorai Kimbu, we will Depravity, Wicked Wolf Sweep, and Injaku. And that will help us fill up the AF gauge fairly quickly.
There.
And now we have an AF gauge. So we will Sorai one more time, we will Depravity one more time, Wicked Wolf Sweep, and Injaku. We want to try and fill this up as much as we can.
Take this.
And now we have a full bar to work with.
Try harder.
Melody enters her Demented state, redeploys the Awakened Wind Zone, which does reset the stacks, but now we have our heal at the end of every turn. And what we're going to do now, we're going to sick Moke. Moke's Clan Rampage will reduce physical resistance and type resistance until the end of the turn by 50%. And we'll switch back to Tetra just in case, because we do want the heals to continue. So right now, type resistance, physical resistance reduced by 50%, and we have a full AF gauge. And within the past 2 turns, we've cast the bolstering Kies and everything, so we're just going to start off and blast with all the 1s.
Take this.
Twin Blade Wolf in there. We're just spamming the first skill. We do have the AF gauge still going at 99 stacks. And we have the Stellar Burst bar to use if we feel we need to.
Train harder. Train harder.
Take this.
And now we'll go ahead and redo the threes.
All right, listen up.
Shigure, being an ES character, has an end of AF attack.
Himself, Shigure, is here. The winds may flow on a whim. All
So we wait for the animation.
They all blow towards the point of my sword, and with them carry fortune as fierce as it is bold.
135 billion damage.
Never again.
And her health is very, very, very low. She basically had a final attack, so to speak. But you know what? So do we.
Sesta will not let you dirty her world.
Yes, this is overkill. No, I don't care. And there you have it. Shigure dodged all the time. His Sorai Kinbu provides a link to katana users, so Sesta's attacks were even more deadly than usual. Melody would just deploy, you have a win zone, you have a win zone, everyone has a win zone, and oh yeah, here's your HP and MP back. And Tsubame extends the zone and provides lots of buffs for Sesta, and improves the combo rate and AF gauge restoration quite a lot. So a very complete team. At no point did I really feel vulnerable. Oh, and let's see, what is this week? Well, I won in 7 turns. So, yay, I gained a few bravery manifest points. Oh. Oh, I never raised the innocence. I guess I should do that. Alright, I've been trying to find a criticism for each team. If this team is very, very, very good, I'm very happy with it. If I had to criticize anything, let me actually put back the original party member. Atoa. If I had to criticize anything, Melody is not Stellar Awakened. Her moves are not filling up the Stellar Burst gauge. All the other characters are. Well, it kind of depends. Yeah, Sesta is. Shigure is not, technically. I don't have 2 Fugen Itu Ryu allies in the front line. But Tsubame and Sesta are. I have heard, and I haven't explored this yet, however, I have heard, where is, that Suzette Alter AS, I said that right, correct? Suzette Alter in her AS form. I have heard that she is basically an upgrade to Melody. She can restore HP and MP, which is what Melody is doing. She does buff the party and improves their max HP and MP, which Melody does not do. She can immediately inflict pain on all enemies, which is what Melody does. It is persistent and ignores target resistance, which means as long as no new enemies appear in the battle, pain should stay on the whole fight. she deploys Wyrmking Stance at the beginning as well. And since we have 3 wind users, I'm not quite sure if all of them are Sweet Teeth? That sounds wrong. But she does have the ability to fill up the Stellar Burst gauge, whereas Melody does not. And of course, you know, her skills and everything, which not sure if I have all of them or not. I'm only noticing 2 here. But she can buff herself. She can apply pain to the enemy. She can create a radical Wyrmking Stance, only once, but still. She can restore MP, HP, like, she can reduce wind resistance. She has a prayer, which improves shield, or improves. It gives everyone a shield, status immunity. They receive 50% less damage, like, and her Violet Scythe reduces power and intellect. Like, I've been told that she is basically a Melody AS upgrade. The only reason I'm not using her right now, I don't have her Stellar Awakened. And while I could use 3 All Cosmos Star Charts to Stellar Awaken her, I just haven't felt the need to yet, because Melody is doing just fine. But if you have Suzette Alter AS, I always have to stop and think about that, and if she is Stellar Awakened, then she would probably be an upgrade to the team, or simply if you just don't have Melody AS, Suzette would fill the bill very well. So that's probably the upgrade improvement I would do to the Wind team, at least for now. And I say that knowing that there's a ton of really good Wind users out there. So Suzette might not even be the best possible addition to the Wind team, but the 3 of them together are extremely, extremely powerful. So I really don't know if you could go wrong with any Wind user there. You just need a source of pain, which Sesta, her Twin Blade Wolf, does pain as well. It's just not guaranteed. So if you want a guaranteed source of pain, that might be a slot. And then this team doesn't have that many debuffs going on. Melody was a very good debuffer. I mentioned during the fight that Depravity reduces power, intellect, speed, provides a damage barrier, so that's a nice debuff. Dark Drill reduces wind resistance, that's a nice debuff. And Magical Smash improves the party's wind attacks and critical damage, so that's a nice buff. So Melody is really debuffing, buffing, and debuffing and pain, and healing, and MP, like she does it all. So as I said, I just haven't felt a need to replace her yet, but if I was looking at this objectively, as awesome as Melody is, she probably is the weak link in this party. So that is my Wind team. Next up, my Fire team. It also hasn't changed since December. A few skills, a few characters have gotten Stellar Awakening, but overall the party itself has not changed. Ewan is the damage dealer, and he is very good at it. My Ewan has 120 Shadow, which does allow for 2 badge slots, but he has the Elpis Hammer, Life Changer Bracelet, and that is because when he does damage, it absorbs a portion of it as health. He has the highest possible power badges equipped: Power of Pains, Bullseye, Rose with Thorns, and Infernal Power of Pain, which improves pain and fire damage, and a Faded Star Proof. The tank in this party is Minalka AS. She is equipped for health. She has 10,000 health thanks to Illusion Speed, Elpis Bangle, 2,000 HP badge, and 3 grasta, all with health, all with HP ores, and a Faded Star Proof. The support characters are Rinri and Iffy. Rinri is an excellent support character for fire teams. Because she is support, she is geared as such. Cherry Blossom Gloves. Over time, damage taken is decreased, and it improves her health. Elpis Necklace, of course, improves health. 2000 HP badge. And then she has Power of Offense Fire, Enhance if Max HP Fire, and Resonant Power Shadow. This entire team, the main four, are Shadow. The back row, not so much. But since the majority is Shadow, we are getting a decent amount of extra damage from Resonant Power Shadow. Enhance if Max HP Fire is not necessary for this team. Ewan, by his very nature, will not be at max HP when he does damage. So this grasta is not necessarily important for Ewan. In fact, if you wanted to have a Resonant Power Light or something like that, even though there's 2 light characters, that probably would still be more of a damage boost. But it is improving the damage for the other characters. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Iffy's Blood Contract might be preventing it. Huh, that grasta might be completely worthless. Well, anyway, we'll leave it on for now. And that's a good segue into Iffy. So Iffy is also a support character. She has Purity Staff, Elpis Ring, 2000 HP badge, and 3 grasta that all have extra Light Shadow HP ores and all that stuff. So she is sitting at 9,000 health. Sidekicks, Tetra and Gunts. Tetra for the heals and everything, and we do have Minalka in the party. And then Gunts is an option. When the AF gauge is empty, the entire party gains 20% in stats. So that's Gunts' claim to fame. Other good characters, Moke of course. Any weak point damage, future weak point damage will be stronger. And there's a whole host of other ones. Kurobo, even. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword because it can affect party members, but anyone that takes fire damage, their power and intellect is permanently reduced by 25%. So if the enemy does fire damage to Ewan, Ewan's power would decrease, which would be bad. But this is a fire team, so we know that fire damage will be affecting the enemies. So as long as whoever you're fighting is not doing fire damage, Kurobo is a perfectly valid and decently good choice if you want to reduce incoming damage. But by default, Tetra and Gunts are my go-tos. The reserve characters. Oops, not stellar. Ewan is Glasses, Sweet Tooth, Hammer, Cursed, Fire, and so forth. The others I don't think have almighty powers yet. So May and CL are hammer users. So they can hold hammer-related grasta, enhance at low HP, for example. Ewan's attack saps his own health, so an enhance at low HP actually is always in effect. Power of Inferno hammer, of course, for extra fire-type damage. And May has Glasses, so she is buffing Ewan with almighty power Glasses. CL is a Sweet Tooth, so that's where the Sweet Tooth extra boost comes from. And then Power of Awakening Hammer, if we're in an awakened fire zone, then hammer users do more damage, and both Ewan and Minalka can redeploy an awakened fire zone as often as they want. And then I have Enhance if Max HP Hammer. Again, not particularly helpful for Ewan since his biggest damage attack saps health, but his other attacks don't, and quite honestly, I don't have anything better to equip. Maybe Resonant Power Light for an extra boost. So that is the team, and let's go show it off. The fight that we're going to show the fire team off on is Yuna's max level weapon manifest fight. I almost want to say tempering. So this is not the tempering challenge, this is just her max level fight. Because Yuna has to be in the party, we removed CL, and I went ahead and gave Yuna Resonant Power Light. There's only 2 light characters, May and Yuna, but it is a little damage boost. And then sidekicks. Instead of Gunts, This is kind of where sidekicks can be advantageous if you know what's coming up. During the fight, Yuna is going to destroy the fire zone and replace it with a water zone. Piggy, the second a water zone is deployed, all party members, not enemies, their single enemy attack damage goes up by 20%. And Yuan's biggest damage dealer is Lava Impact, which is a single enemy attack. So during the final phase of the fight, when Yuna deploys, well, when evil Yuna deploys the water zone, Yuan will get even stronger.
Don't do anything stupid.
Don't mess up.
There is no rain. Alright, so a typical rotation for this party. Rinri Alter is Stellar Awakened, so she automatically casts Blaze Up on the whole party. We also have an automatic Awakened Fire Zone, so she can go ahead and do Deal Breaker on the first turn. We'll go ahead and start off on Lava Impact. On stronger bosses, I sometimes do Flame Break right away. Destruction boosts Yuan's power and speed and weapon type damage, but in this case, I think Lava Impact will probably be just fine. We need Pain, so Iffy can do Rosa Liliac. And we need Rage, so Doom it is. There's the Pain, there's the Rage, there's Lava Impact. No rain. And we already hit the first HP stepper. Turn 2. Technically there are new adds, so if that's the case, you might need to inflict rage again on everything. Otherwise, kind of sort of up to you. Mortal Sin will work fine as well. We double check, we still have Pain, so now we can Nocturnal Procession it, which buffs Yuan's power, among other things, by 50%. Yuan will continue to Lava Impact. We've done Deal Breaker. Blaze Up was automatically cast, so now we can cast Overload, which also improves weapon type damage and critical damage. Yuan will continue to attack because he heals himself back. Otherwise, he'd stop his attacks once he hits 50% health. Now, Iffy, thanks to her blood contracts, is able to revive knocked out characters. So Manalka got knocked out, and Iffy's blood contract was used up, and Manalka revived. That also gives Iffy 1 Seance stack, which for the most part isn't super helpful. Things like Nocturnal Procession get stronger with more Seance stacks. Rosa Liliac's debuffs get stronger with more Seance stacks. And if you use Hypnophobia, if you reach 3 Seance stacks, it consumes them and makes Hypnophobia a lot stronger and restores health. But she's not really a damage dealer in that regard, so that's not really too helpful in my opinion. Having extra buffs and extra debuffs, though, is kind of nice. So, that said, we're going to take a look. We do not have Pain, so we'll go ahead and reapply that. Actually, you know what we're going to do? During this final phase, she has a barrier that reduces damage by 100%. And it's 3 whole turns, so either we have to sit around and survive for 3 turns, or we bypass the barrier. Naturally, none of these characters can bypass the barrier. However, Iffy, when she uses her Lunatic, you get to choose to sacrifice someone. When they are sacrificed, they pop back up and can barrier pierce. I can't point to it, but right in the center, under additional effect, it says, if Blood Contract is consumed, grant Barrier Pierce to chosen ally for 3 moves. So we are going to sacrifice Ewan. So he's going to pop back up and ignore the fact that there's a barrier there. The rest of the party will continue to do whatever, so we might do Rage. He will Lava Impact because that's what he does. And in her case, doesn't really matter either. There's the sacrifice. There he's popping back up. There's the Barrier Pierce. And there's the victory.
Waste of time.
So that's kind of how this party works together. Alright, so that is the party. As soon as we get back CL. He is Hammer and Thunder. And sidekick-wise, Tetra and Gunts is usually the go-to. So Runri does a great job buffing, creating a link, etc. Ewan invaluable for damage. So, criticisms of the team. First of all, Iffy, particularly once she got her Stellar Awakening, is really a lot more oriented now towards Shade. Obviously, she still functions as a fire user, but as far as fire damage goes, she has that one single skill. You can see right here, that one's Hypnophobia is red, but all the rest are neutral or Shade. And Hypnophobia, yeah, it hits all enemies, but it's a single hit. That's it. And it's not really that strong without Seance stacks, and even with Seance stacks, they are consumed, so in an AF burst, it might consume the Seance stacks, have a nice first hit that's strong, and then all the rest are just basically keeping the AF gauge going. She's great for debuffing, she's great for buffing, she's great for reviving in situations where the enemies are a lot stronger than I was anticipating. But as far as fire, she's just kind of so-so. So Iffy can be a liability, but she can be a huge help. Minalka as a tank is decent. She does decent counterattack damage, but a lot of her skills sap her own health. And when you're tanking, you don't really want to put yourself in a position where you could be knocked out a lot easier than normal. That said, neither one is really bad. If I had to make a general comment about this team, there's no solid MP regen. You'll see that already Renri, Ewan, and Minalka have about 70% of their MP left. If this fight went on for like 10 or 15 turns, I would be running into MP issues. So simple fixes. Sidekicks, if you're far enough along in the game, there is a sidekick item. Did I pass it up? Probably. That was one of the... there it is. Magic Rewind Clock Hand. It restores a little bit of MP every single turn. So that could be one thought. Or, instead of using Tetra, you could use Kumos and equip Kumos with a Healing Jewel. Kumos naturally restores MP at the end of every turn, and with the Healing Jewel would restore HP as well. You'd lose the benefits of Tetra being paired with Minalka, unless you had Tetra as a sub-sidekick. But there are workarounds to the MP issue. They're just not ideal. So that is my fire team. And it is really strong. When I do Bag Baddie in Nagsham, I think this is the third most destructive team out of all my teams. First is Wind, and then the second is my Thunder team, which we will discuss now. My Thunder team is somewhat different from December. Valette, I've been using her AS style a little bit more, but I do like her normal style. And Obero used to be part of the party, and now he's kind of regulated to the reserves, because Kamlanaj Stellar Awakened is actually pretty decent damage, and it made a little more sense. Valette, despite being a hammer, does magic damage. Izuna does magic damage. Kamlanaj does magic damage. Obero does physical, slash, and a lot of Obero's buffs were kind of selfish. They helped him, like slash resistance reduction, or user's power and speed goes up, things like that. And so he wasn't really helping the party or improving the rest of the team's ability to do damage. So let's take a look at this team. Izuna is the main damage dealer. So, like all the others, Elpis Dryad's highest stat badge possible, Power of Pains, and Weak Point Strike. The tank in this group is Orlea AS, who's even now really the only good thunder tank. Well, good is subjective, but she's the only one that has rage, I'll put it that way. And as a tank, she is geared for defenses. She has a 2000 HP badge, but she does supplement damage, so Dryad's Axe, Leopard Necklace for increased combo rate, and 3 grasta each with HP ore, since she doesn't have that much light. Kamlanaj is kind of a secondary damage dealer in this situation, so instead of support, he is geared for damage as well. The special grasta, Empire Rumble, gives him an automatic magical critical rate of 100%. So that means he will always crit. So a good weapon for him is Mujima Rod, which has Overthrow. It's not quite as strong as the Overthrow effect that the Elpis gear has, but it's still Overthrow. Leopard Ring for combo rate. He has 153 shadows, so I can equip 2 badges. So he has 2 high int badges, each one with 40. And since he is a damage dealer, Power of Pains, Weak Point Strike, Bullseye, Rose with Thorns. All that pretty much identical to Izuna. So that leaves one support character in this case. This is Valette AS. I'm still warming up to her. I know that she is used in endgame situations a lot, and that is largely because any ally other than her that uses a thunder skill, she basically has a chain ability specific Electricos, something that sounds like electric, and it adds basically an extra attack. It inflicts break, it stacks this Revmas and everything. It's really powerful, and it gets even more powerful based on how many Didominas she has. So if you want a huge amount of damage output, Valette AS is really good for thunder teams. Valette normal style, however, has Guns. Let's switch back before I forget. And Guns normal style, when normal style Valette is in the front line, he can redeploy an awakened thunder zone over and over and over and over again. So that's my way to have an awakened thunder zone all the time. When you have Guns AS, that does not happen. So with Valette AS and Guns AS in the party, I don't have a way to redeploy an awakened thunder zone infinitely, which I do like. Since we're on the sidekicks, Moke is my secondary sidekick. When I hit weak point damage, everyone's critical hits go up. And Valette has a skill. Once I find it, Valette has so many good skills, Valette AS. I'm having a hard time picking 3, and usually I just kind of swap around based on the fight. Aposynthico. When she has one of those Dadominas stacked, you can use up one and create an exposed thunder, which means you are hitting weak points. It only lasts that turn, but it's a way to guarantee that you're always hitting weak points, so Moke's aura can be effective pretty much right off the bat. In the sample fight that we're going to do, I'm actually fighting an enemy that's already naturally weak to thunder, so I don't quite need the expose. But even without it, type resistance reduction of 100%, that's nice too. So that skill is nice. Buff reversal is nice, and a reduction of power, intellect, and speed. She can give the team a regen and, more importantly, an MP regen, so this skill is extremely helpful. Exosia in a thunder zone is a 100% power, int, speed, and thunder attack buff, and MP plus, I think, 50%. I think the 2 times affects all of that, and it lasts for 5 turns, and it gives mental focus to the whole party, which improves damage based on MP, which we just improved. So Exosia is a great skill. And to add insult to injury, she can set pain. So I have a very hard time, since mine only has 3 skill slots, picking which ones. So I do have to kind of customize this team based on the fight. And these are the skills I'm using for the sample fight. But since she is a support character, she has Lepid Galaxy Badge, which improves combo rate but still improves health. You can see that she has combo rate enhancement ores on grasta that have 300 health. And she has the enhanced Power of Offense Thunder, which improves damage and thunder type attacks for all thunder allies. It's a relatively newer grasta, at least as of this recording. And looking through, I actually just realized I have one more Fated Star proof I can equip. I should probably save that while I'm thinking about it. Save. Okay. So she has a little more health and stats. So that is the primary team. And we went over sidekicks. So Obero, who used to be in the party, we do look at the main damage dealer, Izuna. Izuna is Eastern, Mask, Staff, Thunder, Amnesia, etc. Obero is also Mask and Eastern. So he can hold those 2 grastas if I want. He can also hold Resonant Power Light and the old Power of Offense Thunder, which does stack with the enhanced Power of Offense Thunder. At least that's what some people on Reddit said, and I haven't checked it, but I'm trusting them. And then we have Palm. The main reason I'm using her is because she has 236 light, because I pull her all the time. It gives me 4 grasta to work with. Power of Thunder, Power of Awakening, and 2 enhance if max HP staff grastas. Power of Awakening, since I don't have a way to redeploy an awakened thunder zone over and over and over again, that one might be the least important of the 4 for my team. So if you only have a character with 3 slots, then probably ditch Power of Awakening. And we are going to test it out now. The fight we are going to do is Victor's weapon tempering fight. I've replaced Obero with Victor. Victor is still a Thunder user. Technically is still a Katana user, though that's not important. So Power of Offense Thunder and Resonant Power Light, 2 things that Obero were equipped with, I transferred over to Victor. Now Victor is not a Mask user, but there are plenty of other grasta to equip, and one of them is Enhance if max HP Thunder. So that is his 3rd grasta right now. And let's get this fight started. Again, I do not care about pledges. I am just trying to show how the team works together.
Hope you memorized your speeches.
Let's start with the basics.
Now Victor has a mechanic in this fight. Veteran. He stacks endurance and spirit, physical and magic resistance, and each stack is 20% and 200 points. He starts off with 5 stacks. If you do the math, that means his physical magic resistance right now is 100%. And of course his endurance and spirit are adding to his defenses. And it uses up 1 every single turn. So this fight is a little bit of a stall tactic fight. So we are going to not blow the AF gauge or anything like that. We are going to use turn 1 to set up some defenses. We're going to get resistance going, Thunder God Dance, Terra Electric, which reduces thunder resistance, and buff reversal and power int speed debuffs.
I won't let you die. How's this then?
Victor does not attack on his first turn, he also buffs himself. So after the first turn, he's lost 1, so he has a little bit of... He only has 80% physical magic resistance and only 800 endurance and spirit extra. However, thanks to buff reversal, the power buff he gave himself is now a debuff, so he is greatly weakened. So we continue with our stall. We're going to cast Defense de Tonneray, Tengu Sublimation. We're going to go ahead and do another Terra Electric. Terra Electric. I just realized it's not Terra Electric. Terra Electric, and because the thunder resistance debuff stacks. So that's going to be stack number 2. And we will do Exosa. He does have the ability to drain the AF gauge. If you are unfamiliar with this team, Defense de Tonneray inflicts rage and, more importantly, changes all enemies' attack type to thunder. So even when he does some of his wind attacks, they will appear as thunder attacks. And resistance, her prayer, gives her a shield, restores health, all party members' damage is reduced by 50%, she gains cover, and can do status immunity. So she is basically transforming all of his attacks into thunder and then redirecting everything to herself. If she takes damage, she's knocked out of prayer. So since we just cast defense, we're going to do the prayer again. We'll go ahead and enter hyper focus mode. We can do the 3rd stack of Terra Electric, or we can go ahead and buff up. So we'll just go ahead and buff up. And we're going to inflict pain. So you can see that between all the debuffs and her prayers and everything, he's doing very minimal damage. And mind you, this is a weapon tempering fight. We are no longer in a thunder zone, but now he is down to 40% physical magic resistance and an extra 400 endurance spirit. So we can go ahead and blow the AF gauge now. So we are going to do 1. We'll go ahead and deploy a thunder zone. So 4, 1, and to be safe, we'll do another defense. It only lasts for 1 turn. So we're going to do 1, 4, 1, 3, and then spam all 1s and just see what kind of damage we get. 1, 4, 1, 3. And all ones.
Take that.
Thunder teams excel on combo rates and AF bursts. So you'll see that the combo rate is already in the 500%. We've already knocked off half his health despite his remaining stacks. And we still have a stellar gauge to use if we want. Usually, once we drain his health or whatever boss we're fighting, then I try to recast some of the remaining buffs. So we will Exosia, Tengu Sublimation, that's all we got in. We did 153 billion, despite his defenses.
Try and keep up, newbie.
He destroys the zone. He restacks his 5 stacks, so we are back into stall technique. And I think he clears some of his debuffs. Yes, he does. So we are going to recast resistance and have that going. We are going to beef up with Thunder God Dance. Start reapplying the thunder resistances. And get buff reversal going.
I won't let you die.
Basically same approach as turn number 1. We know he's going to drain the AF gauge anyway.
You little.
Turn 2, defense to Tonneray. So debuff him for this turn and the next, inflict rage. And I forgot to mention earlier, part of defense to Tonneray, she gains a 50% damage barrier against thunder attacks. Remember, she converts all enemies' attack type to thunder. So between it and resistance, she can take very minimal damage at times. We will go ahead and Rage and Snuff this time. We did Tengu Sublimation. We rebuffed it during the AF burst. And that will give her her own damage barrier and attack again. We'll go ahead and do another Terra Electric. And this lasts 5 turns. We're not in Thunder Zone, so we'll just go ahead and Deleterio. Even if he drains the AF gauge, it's not a 100% drain. I think it's like a 50%. Yep, there it is. Alright, she took damage, so she was knocked out of praying. So we're going to re-pray. The defense to Tonneray debuff is still active for this remaining turn. We can go ahead and Tengu Sublimation this time around. Terra Electric. And this was 3 turns. It's starting to wear off. Yes. No. 2 turns left. So we'll go ahead and Deleterio and get that gauge going again.
I won't let you die.
You see that he's doing wind damage now. But now he is down to 2 stacks of his veteran. We have an almost full AF gauge to work with, and we have a stellar gauge to work with, and he is out of life points. So we'll go ahead, Thundercrack it. Let's go ahead and get a Thunder Zone going. And we'll go ahead and rebuff, or re-debuff, I guess.
Time for a revolution. revolution!
And basically, we're just going to blow the AF gauge. We'll defense, just to be on the safe side. She'll spam Thundercrack. We'll do 1 Terra Electric for the additional thunder resistance. And she will spam Deleterio. So we'll do 3. We'll do 1, 3, 1, 3, and then all ones. 1, 3, 1, 3. All ones. We'll do 1 more Terra Electric to max out that stack. We can burst again if we want. Why not? Free damage. You can see that we're praying. We have 99 stacks in our Thunder Zone. We're doing massive amounts of damage. Combo rate's going up nicely.
Let's turn it up to 11.
And we nearly took him out again. 131 this time. Recast resistance, Thundercrack, Crono Ray, and buff reversal.
I won't let you die.
We're losing some of the debuffs. You can see he has a sliver of health left. He's still not able to do that much damage to Orlea. His stacks are now gone. Poor guy. And we are on the 10th turn. So, we'll defense, Thundercrack, Crono Ray. Doesn't really matter at this point. There we go. Easy peasy. So we did it in 10 turns, which, if the pledges were different, would be plenty for all 3. So that is how the Thunder team functions together. Katana, Thunder. Whoops, wrong Katana user.
All right, where we dropping?
So that is my current Thunder team. If I had to make adjustments, you saw that the MP regen wasn't super high with this team, so a long drawn-out fight might be an issue. Gunts was restoring some MP every turn, but that was because he has the Magic Rewind Clock Hand equipped. Secondly, as I mentioned, there's no way for me to redeploy an Awakened Thunder Zone all the time. So that kind of annoys me a little bit. If I was using Valette normal style, I could, but then I'd also lose the debuff reversal and a few other nice skills, not to mention her chain link ability. So again, no team is perfect. I realized the weaknesses with this team, so in situations where those weaknesses would be a problem, I would just avoid using this team. But that is my current Thunder team for now. My second to last team is my Crystal team. It also has undergone a little bit of a change. I no longer have Melissa, I have Nina, Stellar Awakened. And that is in large part because Dreamlike Stitch, her stellar skill, can redeploy an Awakened Crystal Zone over and over and over again in a burst. It also provides a lot more defenses, 50% damage barriers, boost to crystal attacks, and it's just a good skill. And I wanted some way to redeploy an awakened crystal zone, and Melissa technically could, but I just kind of liked Nina's kit overall. Alma, when she's vulnerable in between her alchemaic highs, needs a way to survive, and Nina provides that. But we have Thalili, Nilia, Nina, and Alma. The main damage dealers are Thalili and Nilia. Nilia probably being the mainest. So, she is equipped with Elpis, Dryads, Power, 2 Power of Pains, and let's go ahead and give her Weak Point Strike. And save. Thalili also does a very good amount of damage. So she also has Elpis, Dryads, Power Badge, and Power of Agonies, and Brute Power of Pain. It's not quite as important for her to be hitting weak points, and there's no guarantee that she is hitting weak points, whereas Nilia can create a guarantee. So I just prefer Brute Power of Pain for her for the extra pain multiplier. The tank is Alma, one of the better tanks in the game. She can be geared one of 2 ways. Since she can counterattack and do massive amounts of damage, you could gear her to do that, in which case you would gear her like a damage dealer, Power of Pains, Weak Point Strike, Elpis, etc. If you want more survivability, you can give her gear that gives her health instead, but it does neuter her damage a whole lot. But the Lollipopper with the Wandering Blacksmith can give health, provides resistance and 9 lives, very defensive. Elpis Ring gives health, Health Badge gives health, and Grasta with Light Shadow Ores give health, and Special Grasta. So then we have Nina, who is really the only true support character. Thalili also has some support skills, but she's kind of a hybrid. Nina, not so much a hybrid, more just pure support. As such, she is geared with the Purity Staff, upgrade from the Wandering Blacksmith, Stamped Ring for resistance and speed, a 2000 hit point badge, the Enhanced Power of Offense Crystal, Enhance if Max HP Crystal, and Resonant Power Shadow. Because this party, all 4 characters are shadow characters, and one of the reserves. Speaking of the reserves, I decided to throw in Ukwaji. Haven't used him in a while, but he is a fist user, and so he can hold Grasta that improve the damage for Nilia. And he has the added benefit, as long as he's in the reserves, he can do a little bit of hit point restore. Not super necessary if you have like Tetra, but hey, fist user that has a perk in the reserves, might as well use him. My other character is Aldo. Since Thalili does a lot of damage, I want a sword user, and because of his high light, I have 4 Grasta slots. So he's holding Power of Crystal Sword, Power of Awakening Sword, which is nice because we have an infinite Awakened Crystal Zone user now, and some Enhance if Max HP swords. Sidekicks, Tetra and Moke. I still like Tetra, even though we have Ukwaji. Tetra improves the maximum health and improves resistances, so it does make it harder to knock out Alma when she's not in her alchemaic high. And then Moke, Nilia is kind of designed to hit weak point damage, so Moke's aura is active pretty much all the time. So that is the party, and let's see it in action. I thought to show how this one worked over a number of turns, we would play around in Sebastia's lab. The trial of those embracing emptiness extreme. Crystal are the effective attacks. So we are going to do the final stage, stage 5, and we're going to fight 5 waves of enemies. We wish you luck. There we go. And fight. Alright, we start off in an awakened crystal zone. Photon Messiah can inflict pain, guaranteed. We can go ahead and start buffing up. We can reduce power. She also has a way to apply pain. And we can go ahead and get rage going. So Alma will counterattack, restore the MP for the party. And we wait a while, because she will counterattack for each hit she takes. You can see Nilia has already knocked off a significant chunk of the boss's health. So, we will Horizon Chop it. We will buff up the party. Improve physical, magical resistance, improve HP even more. And we will go ahead and give Nilia a link. You'll see that Alma's doing a decent bit of reaction damage right now. Alright, we're going to finish up this guy. Luster Glare, Dreamlike Stitch, Moonsault, and Apostle. And we just blasted through wave number 2. Well, Melosia is a 3-wave boss, so we're technically still on the first boss. We have our reawakened zone, so we're going to Moonsault Media, we're going to Photon Messiah. We will preemptively get Pain on there to help with Moonsault Meteor's damage. And we can do Refraction Bullet, I guess. Moonsault is extremely powerful. That's why Refraction Bullet was kind of an I guess. It's not like they're going to live long enough. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Alma and her awesome tanking, she stacks Arcana, and once she hits certain points, she becomes basically immune to all damage. Well, not immune, but she can't be knocked out for 2 turns, and she gains guard. So basically, 2 turns every so often, she's invincible. Once she loses that, it's called Alchemaic High, then she is quite vulnerable until she can get the next level stack. So, and it gets longer and longer and longer. So right now, she is not in her Alchemaic High. We're going to Refraction Bullet. We are going to Burst Seams. We will continue our Moonsault. And those are all 5 turns, so we'll just Photon Messiah it again. Alright, we will Kaleidoscope. We will Inspiration. It's about time to start rebuffing a little bit, so Drive Lariat and Promised Land. And Alma and her reactive counterattacks heals back up the team. Thanks to Nilia, we basically are in a continued state of awakened Crystal Zone. So we'll just Luster Glare. We just did Inspiration, so we'll do Dreamlike Stitch again. We can do Horizon Chop. And we'll just go ahead and Apostle again. The boss is almost out of health. Third wave. The boss tries to deploy a Chaos Stance, but we have an awakened Crystal Zone, so he can't. If we really feel like it, we are on turn number 8 right now. We do have an AF gauge that we have not yet used. So we'll just go ahead and do that now. We will... Actually, we're all pretty buffed up. We'll go ahead and Refraction Bullet, Burst Seams, Moonsault, and we'll go ahead and Photon, why not? We'll save the AF burst for later. Alright. Luster Glare. Let's see. We just did that. 3 turns, stacks. We'll go ahead and do another stack. Do a Moonsault. And that was 5 turns, 5 turns. So we'll just Photon Messiah it again. They really want that Chaos Stance, don't they? Alright, Moonsault. Knocked out the boss. Alright. They successfully got Chaos Stance out, and we just destroyed it and put back Crystal Zone. We are in Alchemaic High at the moment. So that means Alma is invincible for 2 turns. So we'll just go ahead. Why not? Why don't we just go ahead and blow the AF gauge? Just have some fun. Actually, you know what? We are going to Refraction Bullet and maybe get some counterattacks to restore our MP. You can see that that's getting a little bit low. Moonsault, and let's do Photon. Since she's invincible anyway. There's their 50% HP stoppers. Oh, they didn't attack. Alright. We will drive Lariat. We'll just kind of start rebuffing a little bit. We'll do one more Inspiration. And one more Refraction Bullet. Alright, now they should attack Alma, and we should get some of our MP back. Alright, Alma is no longer in her Alchemaic High, and it's going to take a little while for her to enter the next one. So a little bit more on the vulnerable side at the moment. Dreamlike Stitch, Moonsault, and we'll do Apostle. Moonsault should take care of both enemies. Or, you know, Lily could take care of them. So we are on the final wave. We're on turn number 13. We have an AF gauge to work with. So we'll just go ahead and blow that now. It'll be a good opportunity to get them down to their 50% stoppers. So when we blow it, we're definitely going to do Refraction Bullet. And we'll just probably do the 3s, the 2s, and the 1s. We're not going to work in a kaleidoscope, that would be a little too tricky. So 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, and then all 1s. 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. We've hit the 50% HP stopper. I'm just kind of making sure I have all my stacks of things. And we'll just go ahead and let it finish up.
The sword is held, not by gold, to our hearts and dreams.
Lily is an ES character. That means she has an end of AF burst animation.
Thwart evil's misbehavior. And that's the end of your schemes.
The boss tries to deploy that chaos stance. Nilia preventing it. And now we have a Stellar Burst. So we can Kaleidoscope, Dreamlike Stitch, Moonsault Meteor, Sword and Heart. Can't use it. She's not in her state. If I had actually... Can I get out of the burst? I forget. I don't think so. Actually, I have seen people not burst before, but if I had thought about it, I would have had Moke run in, smack the boss around, and that would have activated Sword and Heart and Photon Messiah. But I didn't, so I'm just going to Photon Messiah it.
No one interrupts my process. Wide open.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can see that the boss has already been defeated. So that is how the Crystal team works well together. Nilia doing massive amounts of damage, barrier piercing when necessary. Lily doing a decent amount of damage on her own, but also providing a lot of buffs. Nina constantly giving us, passively, we don't even have to click anything really. She just gives us Awakened Crystal Zone all the time, which prevents other zones from being deployed. And Alma, just an amazing tank. You saw that she had over 20,000 health there at the end. And that was a 15-turn trial of Embracing Emptiness Extreme. Had this not been done before, no one got knocked out. We cleared well under 25 turns. and we did in the billions in damage in one hit outside of another force. So that run alone would have given us the power of offense crystal and stones and power of offense shade. The only one it did not do was clear with 4 or fewer party members, which would have given us all missions and power of offense crystal, which admittedly I was using in the party. But Aldo and Ukwaji were not terribly necessary. You saw the massive amounts of damage that Nilia was doing, and while she was being buffed by these grasta, I could toss Ukwaji out and she'd still be doing massive amounts of damage. Same with Lily and Aldo. So if I wanted a 4-person team, this team alone really could handle it. And that's in fact how I did beat it. Actually, I think at the time I was still using Melissa. It's been a while. But Nina just makes it so much easier, just automatically giving us awakened zones all the time, giving us barriers, keeping us alive. Because you saw that Alma did take decent amounts of damage. And Nina, besides Burst Seams Cage debuffing, which that one does stack as well. If any of the bosses had lasted a long period of time, I could continue to reduce power, intellect, and speed even more. She was providing shields equal to 30% of her health, maximum 2,000. But inspiration, wherever it is, the max HP and physical and magic resistances stack as well. The more you cast inspiration, the more health your party is going to have. And if I had lunaticked her at any point, it would have also followed up with a crystal attack and improved max MP as well. So I really like how Nina just kind of makes this team flow a lot easier than when I had Melissa as my 3rd position character. So that is my crystal team. My final team is a Null magic team featuring Xianghua. I've been working on another team, so after you watch this, stay tuned. So the Null magic team, Xianghua is the main damage dealer. She's an incredible non-type damage dealer. And mainly because of Horizon. Ignores target defenses, and if the enemy has 50% health, she attacks again, so 4 total hits. She's just an amazing character. Since she is the main damage dealer, she is geared the same as all the others. Elpis, Dryads, Int Badge, 3 Power of Pains. The 3rd one at the moment has Adversity equipped, but technically it could be any number of things. The boss we're fighting actually, there's only one of, so the Adversity ore isn't even kicking in. The issues I've always had with the Null Magic team is that I don't have a true tank. Iffy and her blood contracts that she puts on everyone, the details of the blood contract state that attacks that would affect the entire party get shoved to the character to the furthest right that has a blood contract. So in this case, if they all have blood contracts, Yuna would be taking a lot more of the AE damage. So Yuna is kind of sort of a tank by default. Because of that, she is geared, she has 9,000 health unbuffed, and all of her gear has things like physical resistance, or damage decreased over time, etc. Stuff to basically keep her alive. HP badge, sound body, victory, self-healing, faded star proof, etc. And she can stay alive pretty well, particularly with her buffs. Iffy herself has a Lady Vesper attack, her stellar skill. Attacks 3 times, ignores defenses, guaranteed crit. Does use up... Oh, sorry. I was reading Icrophilia. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't sound right. It still attacks 3 times, but she provides singular focus to the whole party, which for a null magic team is not terribly helpful. It increases physical damage, so that one's kind of eh. But she does consume the blood contracts as well, and she starts with Yuna's. And as long as there's 3 shade allies, she executes while perk is knocked. So this is not terribly helpful. I actually like Icarphelia a little bit more because it's not using up those blood contracts. With that in mind, though, I don't have a way to put the blood contracts back on because Lady Vesper, if there's 3 shade allies, she will automatically cast while perk is knocked, which is how you put them on. So if you don't have that set up, then it's a good idea to have while perk is knocked equipped. That way, if all the blood contracts run out, she can restore them. Myunfa Alter is the other character who is a support character. Please, I'll do my best, and Charity Blend. Charity Blend puts down a magic zone. I'll do my best is a prayer that improves the party's damage, gives shields, and damage of 1500 or less is reduced to 0, which is nice. And then Please is a nice buff to the user's right, which in this case is Xianghua. Because she is support, she is geared as such, so defensively, things like Smoke Drift Rings, which reduces the chance that she gets stunned or falls asleep. Of course, that helps with prayers. Skyguard Staff, Magic Resistance, pretty much anything defensive I could find. Xianghua, her personality traits: Eastern, Scientist, Synth Human, Staff, KMS. So she is a staff user. I have staff users back here. A lot of the almighty powers don't work with her because almighty power a lot of times improves type damage, and she does not do type damage. So you will not see like almighty power KMS on the reserves. What you will see are things like Power of the Void, which improves non-type attack damage. The Enhance if low or max HP staff, that's not type damage, that's just flat out damage improvement. So those are always good. Darkshade staff is more for Iffy's convenience, since, you know, Xianghua doesn't do shade damage. But Power of Awakening, Resonant Power Shadow, Power of Offense Magic, all of those do improve everyone's damage as well. In Fine's case, if you don't have a character with 4 grasta slots, Darkshade Staff is largely unnecessary. It's only boosting Iffy's damage, which isn't that much. And in Palm's case, if you think you can keep the party at high health, Enhance at low HP is not necessary. The blood contracts, though, do sap health at the start of the move, so the Enhance if max HPs aren't necessarily important either. But if you're like AF bursting and you're at full health, you know, then the Enhance if max HPs are kind of nice. So kind of, sort of, whatever you want. Sidekicks, Tetra and Kumos. Tetra to keep the health up, improve max HP and MP, which improvements in total MP help with mental focus. And then Kumos, this is a magic team. Enemies that take magic damage have a magic resistance reduction, and their damage to my party, since I don't have a tank, is reduced. So Kumos, I believe, is a good choice. And I'll show you the other magic team in a moment. I'm just going to show you how they compare on a boss fight. The boss we're going to showcase this team on, same one I've been showcasing for a little while because I like the boss so much, Wyrmking's Domain. If you go to the records room, finish the Riz saga, and do a few things. Number 41, Wyrmking's Domain, Divine Seat. It allows you to fight the Wyrmking again. The reason I like using the Wyrmking for this team is because Xianghua totally bypasses his mechanics. And what are those mechanics? The Wyrmking has a barrier that improves physical and type resistance and stacks 99 times. That means for most people, even your most powerful characters like Sesta, Verdanta, they cannot do any damage because that's like 990% type damage, 990% physical damage resistance. Xianghua does not have type damage or physical damage. She does null magic damage. So she ignores the Wyrmking's barrier completely. So how this team works, we are going to start off with Divine Utterance. That will reduce the Wyrmking's damage with Burn Away. Pain. We'll go ahead and cast Link and Charity Blend. There's our Magic Zone. There's our now awakened Magic Zone, thanks to Link. Remember that single target attacks do not get redirected to the character on the right. That's why Iffy took damage and not Yuna. So now we are going to Iridescent Blessing, Nocturnal Procession, Trinity, and get the prayer going. I'll do my best.
Die. Here you go. Cut it out. Shoo.
Damage below 1500 gets reduced to 0 thanks to the prayer. Divine Vessel, her Yuna's stellar skill. It stacks a Burn Away and stacks an Inspired, so we're going to make the Wyrmking even weaker. And it can also invert buffs, becoming debuffs. We will Icarphilia, Horizon, and Please. And as you saw, Xianghua in one single Horizon just wiped out his entire health pool. He doesn't end breath. Remember, thanks to the prayer, all damage 1500 or below goes to 0. And 1 life point has been used. Now the issue with that is, upon using the life point, all those debuffs have been removed, so we have to put them back on. Yuna's, by the way, her Burn Aways are not removed. You see there's 2 stacks, that's the orange circle there. So he is still weakened to a degree. So we will go ahead and Burn Away again, Rosa Liliac again, Horizon again, and at this point, are we still praying? Yes, we are. Are we still in a Magic Zone? No, we are not. So, Charity Blend. There goes life number 2. Another End Breath. Yuna took a little bit of damage now. At this point, we are on turn number 5, so some of the initial buffs, things like improving max HP and Trinity and stuff, are running out. So we are going to go ahead and we will do, let's see, I think we're at 3 stacks now, yes. we'll go ahead and Divine Vessel, Rosa Liliac, because we just used up another life point. We'll take this opportunity to link. And is our prayer going on? Yes, it is. We should probably go ahead and reapply it. We are now in an awakened magic zone. Iffy revives characters with Blood Contract. And now the rightmost Blood Contract is on Xianghua, so she will start taking some of the area of effect hits. We will go ahead and Iridescent Blessing. We will Icarphilia, Horizon, and Please.
Cut it out. Shoo!
Now Xianghua is not wiping out his entire health pool right now because we are missing her second skill buff, which improves number of skill hits. But as you can see, one more Horizon will very definitely punch the ticket. So we'll do that. We are still in an awakened magic zone. We're still praying, so we'll just do an Art Please again. We'll go ahead and Nocturnal Procession and Divine Utterance.
Pathetic.
Another End Breath. Xianghua survives, but even if she'd been knocked out, she'd be resurrected by Iffy's Seance. But now the boss does not have any remaining life points, and is starting a countdown. So we can take this opportunity now, since we haven't used our AF burst or our stellar gauge. We are on turn number 8. We can burst. We can redo any buffs if we need to, but we just did Divine Utterance, so we can go ahead and Rosa Liliac, because the boss has been used up a life point. And we can go ahead and use Trinity now, and that will give us the increased skill hits. We can double check up here. We are also not in a magic zone right now, so that is a potential issue. Because we could always have done another Horizon or something. But we do have the AF gauge to work with. And we have Charity Blend. So we'll burst. We'll do 3. And then we will do start spamming Horizon pretty much at this point. So 1. If we want to make sure we are fully buffed, I might work in a Nocturnal Procession. But otherwise, we'll just do 3 and then spam all 1s. So 3, 1, 1, 1. Boss has already been defeated.
There you go.
How embarrassing.
Whatever.
I'll take you to a place where chaos reigns.
So that is how my Null Magic team works together. Xianghua does the damage. Iffy can provide resurrections for anyone that gets knocked out. Yuna prevents people, for the most part, getting knocked out. with her heals and her debuffs and her buff inverses. It flows pretty well. I've started having this weird black screen that just... it's like it's thinking about loading for a while. Sometimes if I minimize and open back up like that, it works. Not quite sure what's going on. That's a very, very recent thing, like the past couple of days recent. So this has been my go-to team for a while. Sometimes I don't use Yuna. Sometimes I use Yakumo AS.
Right.
He also does not have rage, but he does have a lot of barriers and such that are helpful. So I've been playing around. If you watched some of my videos somewhat recently, I have run over to Lady Mid and gotten a few new characters to play with. Like, put back Yuna.
Me?
And one of the characters I got was Nikoko Alter. And I thought, oh, Nikoko Alter would be really fun to use. So let's bring her up. And I started reading her skill descriptions, because she's a magic user. And she has a lot of debuffs, 45, 45, 45. Could go up even more if she's with shadow allies. And Xianghua is a shadow user, and Iffy is a shadow user, but this kind of replaces Iffy's not Nocturnal Procession, Iffy's pain skill. So that they kind of conflict with each other. It seems like she would be a good replacement for Iffy, but then I'd have 3 light allies in the front line, and that's not very efficient. I started looking at her other skills. She can deploy Magic Zone. Well, my Unfa can do that. Okay. She can provide a link to the user's left. So she would have to be in Iffy's position. But deploying a zone is kind of the job of my Unfa. So I started kind of looking around. I can use Odd Rumble to reduce physical and magic resistance. We can stack Int on her, and then I see like the debuff effect increases based on number of shadow allies again. And if I have 3 shadow allies, I get a freebie, Leave Meow Alone. So that made me basically think I need to make a full shadow ally team around Xianghua. So I did. I have Xianghua in the first position now, because Nikoko, remember, is buffing to the user's left. I have Nikoko, who is not Stellar Awakened. I still have Iffy, and I threw in Yakumo. Palm and Fine are still in the back. And I swapped the sidekicks. Since I have Yakumo in the front line, Kumos, with a healing jewel, can provide some healing, some MP regen, and I still get Kumos' aura. But I still like Tetra's aura, the physical magical resistance and improvements in max HP and MP. So I didn't quite want to give Tetra up, though if I was fighting weak points and stuff, Moke or even like Guns blowing the AF gauge would be good choices. So I whipped up this team, and I really wasn't sure how it would compare. They're both Null teams. They both don't have a true tank. And I'm giving up Yuna's MP regen, her buff reversal. Like, I'm giving up a lot of things. But I thought I would take this team out and test it on the exact same boss. So gear-wise, Xianghua is geared exactly the same. Iffy is geared exactly the same. For Yakumo, I basically just took all of Yuna's equipment and the Elpis ring and gave it to him. So he has almost 4,000 MP and 8,600 health. And in Nikoko's case, I took what I had for my Unfa and gave it to Nikoko. And the back row support is still the same. So I'm not saying that this team is better. I'm still playing with it, and without Nikoko being Stellar Awakened, it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel quite right. Though her Stellar skill, not sure how important it is. It reduces the enemy's endurance and spirit, and during a burst, I can get an Awakened Magic Zone, which is nice. I can get my buff reversal back. That's what I lose from not having Yuna in the party. It does one single Thunder magic attack, and it provides, just for her, Lunatic Risk Taker. So I'm not seeing a huge need to have her Stellar Awakened, but it would be nice to have an attack skill and the buff reversal back. I'm also losing Yuna's Burnaways, which are a huge damage reduction because it reduces raw stats instead of just a %. And I'm also losing my Prayer, which reduces all that 1500 to 0. So I really wasn't sure how well this team would function. But that's part of the fun of the game. We get to play with new teams. So here we go. We are in an Awakened Magic Zone. Yakumo does provide seasoned stacks to the Magic Zone, so this Awakened Magic Zone is stronger than the one from before. So Crunch Time will provide all party members a shield equal to how much MP Yakumo uses up. We're going to get Pain on there for sure. We're going to start off giving everyone more MP. Just kind of looking at everything. I'm still getting used to this team. So. And we will link, so kind of the same routine as before. So now Yakumo has 5,000 MP. Remember that he provides a shield, so we just saw a 4,000 damage hit, but no one's health has been reduced. Turn 2. If we cast Overwork when there are more than 50 stacks on the Magic Zone, we have a 5-turn huge boost. And right now we have 80 stacks. We're going to Nocturnal Procession for the boost. We are going to go ahead and My Apologies. Remember that provides a link to the user's left, so I'm giving a link to Shanghua. And we are going to Trinity. So the boss didn't do that much damage to Yakumo. And just like before, on turn 3, we are going to Horizon. We're going to Odd Rumble. Remember, with 3 Shadow Allies, I will get a free Leave Meow Alone. We can Icarphilia. And at this point, I don't really want to reduce my season stacks, so I just kind of cast whatever. A lot of times I'll redo a Crunch Time to rebuff the shield. Shanghua's Horizon, as you saw, was doing 2 billion per hit. Way more than the previous Magic team. We have our shield, and we consumed pretty much 5,000 MP. So now we check. We are no longer in a magic zone. So we will go ahead and in his case, we'll go ahead and just do a karma. We have to redo Rosa Liliac since the boss used a life point. Okay. We could do an even cut and reduce type resistance. If you're not familiar with Nikoko, on odd turns, she has that odd skill. On even turns, it converts to even cut, and it stacks a different type of orb. Still does the leave Meow alone in the link. We could Horizon again, or we could redeploy a magic zone. However, Nikoko, with perfect weather, can deploy a magic zone as well. So that's what we're going to do, and we will Horizon again. You saw even without the magic zone, Horizon did a pretty decent amount of damage. The boss did some damage to the party, so now's a good time to rebuff the shields, and Yakumo now has over 6,000 MP, so crunch time for the shield. We will Nocturnal Procession. We can Odd Rumble again, and we can Horizon. There goes life number 2, and breath coming up. Yakumo took some more damage that time around, and now he has his shield. Between Iridian and Kumos, he restores a lot of his health and a lot of his MP. Not all of it. We're going to overwork again. We have 99 stacks, so that's another 5-turn overwork. At this point, we can double check. Rosa Liliac is needed to reduce some damage. We could restore the link. We could do an even cut. Kinda, again, sorta, whatever. Let's keep the link going, and Horizon again. Actually, we should probably Trinity, increase skill hits. Overwork awakens the magic zone. Horizon time. We'll do another Odd Rumble. I'll just redo Nocturnal Procession. Icrophilia is not really necessary right now. And we can crunch time.
You're a mistake.
Horizon, slice through another full health bar. We have End Breath. Yakumo barely survives.
What the hell, man?
And he kind of curses. The boss is counting down, so we're kind of in the same position as before. It's used up all of its life points. If we check our buffs, you can see that we still have our extra hit count and so forth. So we could go ahead and blow everything and wipe this boss out. If we do overclock, we redeploy the Awakened Magic Fates stance and stack 50 seasoned. We are at 99 seasoned right now, so that's not necessary, but that is an option. So we could just go ahead and crunch time it, even overwork it again, kind of whatever we feel like doing. So let's just crunch time it. In her case, we'll go ahead and Rosa Liliac. We know that we have the extra hit, so we can just go ahead and Horizon.
Anyone who blocks my light gets erased!
And without even blowing the AF gauge, the boss has been defeated. And we did not have to use any of Iffy's seances. Yakumo came close to getting knocked out there at the end, but he survived thanks to the hold ground, and that was that. So this seems like a fairly functional Null magic team, one that probably seems a little more destructive. We have the season stacks. Are you gonna be weird again? Apparently so. We have Yakumo's season stacks, making the magic zone stronger. And I noticed this came up too. But if I simply go to the map and return to Space-Time Rift, everything kind of acts like normal. Very strange. So anyway, going back to this. So we have Yakumo, who's kind of sort of survivable in this situation. And we have Nikoko, who is buffing up the party. And as you saw, Shanghua's Horizons were doing way more damage with this team than she was with this team. So this team, survivability, MP regen and everything, not an issue with Yuna. This team, a little bit more destructive, thanks to Nikoko, I believe, and Yakumo. So which team is better? I really haven't decided yet. I'm more familiar with this team because I've been using it for a very long time, and I do like Yuna a whole lot. But Nikoko really thrives when she's with 3 other shadow allies. So Shanghua, Iffy, and Yakumo are those 3 shadow allies. Nikoko and Iffy do overlap in skills to a degree, so I kind of wonder if I could have Nikoko replace Iffy. I would lose the ability to revive, which I really, without a true magic tank, I'm kind of iffy about losing Iffy. But and I'm still exploring some of the other new characters that I've gotten in recent months. But I want to say this is my Null Magic team, but this one's working pretty well in addition. So either one, those are my Null Magic teams. Might have to rename the Casual Chrono thing. In conclusion, as always, these are pretty long videos, but I want to really go into the in-depth and detail why I have certain characters paired up with other characters, and I also like to have that demonstration so you can see how they interact in a real fight. And lately I've been trying to do more advanced fights, like Lucidium's Shadow, Wyrmking, Manifest fights, and those unfortunately are longer than a minute or two, so I kind of sort of apologize for the length of the video. At the same time, I think it's valuable that you understand the dynamics between the characters, and the fact that I'm always kind of looking to improve teams. Don't know which one is better yet. We'll see. But ultimately, I really hope this helps you when you're looking at your own teams. For the most part, the philosophy is the same for every team. I have a primary damage dealer, I have a tank character that can deploy rage, and then I have other characters that can set pain, put down zones, buff the party, debuff the enemies, whatever they need to do. And for the most part, Tetra is almost always used for healing. If you don't have Tetra, Iridian, a free sidekick, can step in and do some healing of her own. And then, kind of depending on the situation, if I'm hitting weak points, I'm using Moke. If I am blowing the AF gauge a lot, Gunt's normal style is great to use. And Kumos I've been using a little more of lately. Equipped with the healing jewel, Kumos restores hit points, restores MP, and if I'm doing any type of magic damage, I am reducing the enemy's overall damage output. And most parties do have a magic damage dealer. So my Unfa could be equipped with a magic dealing skill. Subami and Melody are magic damage dealers. Iffy, magic damage dealer. Pretty much the whole team, magic damage dealing. Alma does magical damage. And Nina too, I believe. Yes, magic attack. And of course the Null teams are magic teams. So I've been using Kumos a little more lately. But that is, those are my 7+ teams right now. And I hope this helps you. Casual Crono, signing out.